Welcome to Tackett's House of Horsepower. It's me, Steve Tackett, and today I'm going to show you how to put 20 pounds in a 10-pound bag. I'm kidding, but that is what it feels like working in this garage. Okay, it's more than 20 pounds. It's we're talking 50 pounds in a 10-pound bag, but we're dealing with it. We're gonna have to dig through this. We're gonna have to tunnel our way through this to get to some parts we need. But first, let's pick up where we left off. So the last video, if you saw it, we pulled the straight 6 out and the little 3-speed, and we finished filming. I took some pictures of it right here, and then I pushed it up here and stuck it right there, and I put it on Marketplace, and I must have put it for too cheap because my phone blew up. I got so many people trying to come get it, and I told somebody, yeah, you can come get it tomorrow, whatever, it's fine. And then later on, somebody else hit me up and was like, I'll come get it right now. And I was like, really? Okay. So they came and got it that night, literally within hours of when we pulled it out, it was gone. Like, they came and got it. So straight 6, 3-speed gone. 350 turbo 400. We got to clean this up, put it back together, I think, and get it ready to drop in there. But all the parts I need are in those totes. Shoot. So I'm gonna have to dig through this mess to get to all the parts. I think what we're gonna do is, well, I'll tell you in a minute. I'll tell you what we've been going through, and I'll catch you guys up to speed. But first, I need at least a starting point. All right, so here's the situation. It's not ideal, but it's what I'm working with. We want to get that on the road immediately. I need it running and driving, like right away. So, or as soon as possible. So obviously we need to go through the brakes, the suspension, the steering. I want to lower it. I want to upgrade disc brakes. I want to power steering. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. The engine and the transmission. If you saw the video a couple weeks back about the Hecho Mexico engine, that's this. It came from Sarah's boss, and it came out of a square body that he LS swapped. I went through the whole thing. We took it apart, we checked it all out. It looks really nice inside, really clean. You can still see the cross hatches in all the cylinders. It's very low miles. It was rebuilt at some point. It's 30 over. Somebody put flat top pistons in it and a cam, and a lot of stuff's been done to this engine. But the cylinder heads, those are the cylinder heads that came off of it. And other than the screw and studs and guide plates, I think they're basically rebuilt Hecho in Mexico, low compression, not very desirable heads. So my plan was to ditch these, and I have a set of 041s behind the torches. It's right there. Just take my word for it. There's a set of 041s under there, and they need everything. They need to be gone through. So I try to reach out to some machine shops, and it's not good. Every machine shop is backed up, like ridiculous. Like, you can't get just a basic freshen up job on a set of heads right now. It's several months of waiting, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to wait for a set of heads. So we'll still drop them off, and it's going to take a while. Put these on for now, put this back together, clean everything, new gaskets, paint it orange, get it ready to drop in. We'll probably put it on the test stand. You remember the test stand back there. We can fire it off. We're gonna put a intake manifold and carb and headers on it and stuff, so we can make it running, as well as possible, and that's probably gonna be it. So anyway, let me start digging. Well, I was able to get to some parts. Looks like I got some engine mounts, polyurethane, different water necks, a different timing chain cover. I got this little performer manifold. It's a non-EGR. Obviously, we're gonna put a Holly on it, so we need a square bore type intake, because we got rid of the spread bore and the stock cast iron intake with the EGR stuff. I threw that stuff right in the trash. So we are upgrading to non-EGR with a square Holly on it. And there's more parts back there. The ones I need to get to are like in the middle. I think I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and say screw it, and I'm gonna have to, like the starter and stuff like that, I'm just gonna go buy new ones, I guess. I just can't get to them right now. It's too much effort to dig through all this. Well, I'm back. I'm heading to the store. I need some degreaser. I gotta assemble that engine, so I'm gonna need some silicone and some degreaser and some good old Chevy orange paint, and luckily O'Reilly's is nearby, so it is windy today. Wow. Anyways, I got work to do. I'm gonna head to the store. Sorry about that, railroad tracks. Anyways, I'll get back with you in a minute. Okay, I'm back. The plan for today is a lot of cleaning. So I think I'll just set the camera up, it's so windy out there anyways. I don't think any of the audio is gonna come through anyway. So besides, cleaning is boring. I don't even want to do it, really. So let me throw that degreaser in a bucket, start scrubbing. I also got some wire wheels and stuff. I'll show you what I do. Gasket surfaces got to be spotless. So we got to do a lot of cleaning. Let me get my parts washer set up here. Hang on. Okay. Parts washer. Ready. Step 2. That's pretty good. Step 3. So every once in a while I come over and I give it a agitation, the agitator. So we got to address all the gasket surfaces. Got to be clean. And I also ordered a timing chain set, so we got to get the old timing chain gear off of there. And wow, it's windy. Get it clean. That's it. Just get it clean. Okay. First things first, I want to try to limit the amount of garbage that's going down inside the engine when I'm scraping and cleaning and whatever. I don't want stuff getting in. So use a t-shirt. Never, ever, ever, ever use a shop rag. Never. The orange ones, the blue ones, I don't care. Never use a shop rag or a terry cloth. Never. Cotton t-shirt only. And, I'm going to try and cover everything up best as I can. We'll start there. But first, pop this gear off. To knock down all the big stuff, I'm gonna use one of these. Just watch out. These little wires will fly out and hit you in the eyeball. Make sure you got glasses on. Have you ever had metal in your eye? I have. A couple times. I'll see if I can find some old pictures. I'll stick them in there. I've gotten metal in my eye a couple times, and let me tell you, it's terrible. It's really painful, and they get it out with a drill. Yeah. When you go to the eye doctor, they literally put a drill, like a dentist drill, in your eye, and they drill it out. And you better not move. Anyways. Cue the time lapse. I forgot to take the engine mounts off. What's wrong with me? Back to cleaning. next, I'm gonna bring it out here in the driveway and hit it with some degreaser and some wire brushes. Clean it up a little bit. Hose it out with a garden hose. Yes, a garden hose. If you've never rebuilt your engine in the driveway with a garden hose, I mean, have you ever really lived? No. Okay. It's normal. So, I just need to get it clean enough to where a fresh coat of paint will stick to it. You know what I mean? Me like I'm crazy. You all know you've done this. This is the makings of a true rattle can rebuild. That's what we're going to call this engine. Once we get it back from the machine shop, lost their seats. It's important to blow it out real good, dry it off, and then get some oil in the cylinders because it will start rusting immediately. So I'm gonna do that next. And then my timing chain set should be in up at O'Reilly's. I'll go grab that. And maybe we'll start putting some stuff together. That'd be good. I do see something I don't like. I kind of suspected this engine's been balanced before. Whatever machine shop this was at, they balanced it, which is a good thing. Which, I mean, it's probably the best thing you can do at the machine shop before you pick it up, is have it balanced. Well, you can tell by all the extra holes and some grind marks and stuff on the crankshaft that this engine's been balanced, but for some reason they added weight to the flex plate. That weight right there shouldn't be there. Now, small block Chevys, 350s, you know, the old two-piece rear main seal 350, should be completely internally balanced. So the flex plate or flywheel, whichever you got, and harmonic balancer should be zero. It should be balanced like a tire. So you don't want to see weights added to it like that. It is really windy out here. That's kind of strange. You would not normally add weight to the flex plate on a 350, an old school 350. The problem, it's going to be fine. It is fine. It's going to run fine. It's not going to be a problem. The problem is if you ever change that, if you ever have to change the flex plate, or let's say you want to switch it to a, let's say we wanted to put the stick shift in it. If I was going to put the stick shift behind this, I would put a flywheel on it and get rid of that flex plate. The problem is if you don't know that there's weight added to it, you know, you just order a flywheel or a flex plate for an old 350 and stick it on here, your engine's not going to be balanced now. So that's kind of strange. I don't recommend that. You know, if this was a 400, sure. Or if it's a one-piece rear main seal engine, the crankshafts are round. They don't have this ear on it. See how that notch is right there, and the crank is kind of shaped funny. On a one-piece rear main seal, that would be smooth and completely cut down and round for the seal to slip over, and they add weight to that, you know, on those engines. But this engine, it should not have weight there. So I don't know. Luckily, we're gonna run an automatic transmission, so there's no need to change that right now. But if I ever had to change it, it's something to think about. It's kind of strange. I'm back. It's the next day. In fact, it's New Year's Day, January 1st, 2025. Can you believe that? 2025. Time is flying by. Quick story. New Year's means a lot to myself and Sarah because 21 years ago, I was kind of interested in this girl, and I took her to my buddy Travis's New Year's party, and all our friends were there and stuff, and I brought this girl, and at midnight, I grabbed this girl and I laid a kiss on her at exactly midnight, 21 years ago, and that girl is Sarah. So what that means is I'm a damn good kisser because she's still with me. Anyways, double roller timing chain set. It came in. Did you know you can get Cloy's double roller timing set? The ones with the trunnion bearing too, I think. Let's make sure. Hang on. This should be the one. Yeah. The one with the trunnion bearing in the back. See that? Billet with the trunnion bearing. You know you can get them at O'Reilly's? Yeah. They may not have them at the exact location you're at. The bigger stores probably have them. The hub stores have them. There's the part number. See it? So, anyways, Happy New Year's. Let's get to work. We got to finish this rattle can rebuild. Okay? So, let's start putting things together. All right, now, there's lots of options here. We can put it advanced or retarded and do all kinds of fancy stuff with it. But for this engine, we don't care about all that. We're going to install it on 0. So I line my keyway up on 0. And now, some people, they like to take a mallet or a socket or something and just wail on that and then, you know, seat it down. Every time you do that, you're smacking the crankshaft. You're putting a lot of pressure on that thrust bearing. You're beating up the thrust bearing for no reason. So what I like to do is I take my harmonic balancer puller, or installer, sorry, my harmonic balancer installer tool, and the tool for putting in ball joints. This guy fits perfect over that, and you put that in there and you can crank it on nice and smooth without beating on the crankshaft. So I'm gonna do that right now. Okay. to go. Easy as that. No beating on the crankshaft. Okay, I've ran into this before, so I always double check, and I test fit my timing chain, and it hits the block right there. So what I do is I cover everything up real good, and then I take a grinder and I grind that. This used to be flat. You got to grind that down just a little bit. So I'll double check it again and make sure I got plenty of clearance there. But sometimes aftermarket timing chains, they'll hit right there. So anyway, something to look out for. Okay, I gotta correct what I said earlier too. I said that was a trunnion bearing type. This one is not. It's a bushing. So I didn't know that until I opened the bag. So anyway, I just want to correct what I said earlier so no one gets upset with me. But this style is a bushing. Either way, it's better than stock, okay? All right, timing chain is done. We are straight up and down on 0. There you go. And the original one, or the last one that was on here, there was a lot of play. This one is nice and tight. So normally, especially if this was a roller cam, I would have a locking plate on here and a cam button. But since this is a flat tappet cam, it's not critical, you know, especially with a brand new chain that's nice and tight. The cam's not really gonna walk. So I do put a little bit of Loctite on these threads, just a little bit. You don't want it gushing out, getting on that bushing in the back. So just a tiny little bit of Loctite on those threads, torque them down, you're good. And we can move on finally. All right, I jumped ahead. I got the timing chain cover on and the oil pan on. Cleaned all the gasket surfaces real good and stuck the gaskets on. The only thing with this engine you got to watch out for is these Hecho in Mexico, Target Master, whatever, replacement engines. They have a provision on both sides for left hand or right hand dipsticks. So you got to be careful with your oil pan and your gaskets situation. So I had to dig through all mine. Luckily, I have a lot of oil pan gasket sets because most of my cars, they're all one piece gaskets. I like to use the expensive rubber one piece gaskets. So I have a lot of the stock style cork gaskets. So what I did was I grabbed the left hand side out of one and I grabbed the right hand side out of the other, and anyways, I made it work. I've done it before with a straight pan and put a gasket over the top of it and then silicone it because it'll cover the hole mostly, but you don't want it to leak. So that's the only thing I had to deal with, was I had to dig for a gasket and kind of hodgepodge it and make my own. But we're good to go. I can flip this thing over and start on the top half. All right, we can start putting the heads on. And I always put silicone on the threads. Anything that screws into water jacket. Head bolts definitely screw into water jacket. So what you want to do is, you know what I noticed? It's so cold here that the silicone don't want to move or spread. It doesn't want to stick to nothing. Like, I need something in the garage to warm everything up at least a little bit. I don't know, because it literally doesn't want to cooperate. But yeah, a little bit of silicone on the threads, sticking it. All right, cue the time lapse. One side's done. We'll clean up the other side and throw it on. On the valve train. I dropped all the lifters back in and I had them sitting over here on a piece of cardboard, and I marked front to back, left to right, so I know they're in the exact same spot they came out of. Flat tappet lifters, they seat to the cam lobe, so that lifter goes to that lobe forever. You can't move them around, you can't flip them around. Push rods, rocker arms, we don't care. Put them anywhere you want, flip them around. You don't gotta be too particular where they go. Only the lifters, and only on a flat tappet cam. If this was a roller cam, who cares? You can put them anywhere you want, they don't seat. Now I'm going to adjust the valves, and I know that I'm on top dead center number 1, so I know that both of these are closed or on base circle, so that means the lifter is all the way down. We're not on the lobe at all. I also like to put this on. I made this a long time ago out of a cut down pulley. I welded a socket on it, and I like to put the harmonic bouncer on and stick this on so I can rotate the engine with my ratchet. So let me get that done, and we'll run through these valves real quick, and that's pretty much it for the long block. So I get my setup like this. I put a little bit of paint on behind there. I paint behind the harmonic bouncer and stuff before I put it on. Then I stick it on with a little bit of silicone on the keyway and a little bit of oil on the outside so the seal's not dry when we start it up. I know I'm on top dead center number 1. That's the compression stroke, so the spark plug's ready to fire. So we know both valves are closed. Now, start running these down and bounce these up and down, like up and down, not back and forth, not round and round, up and down. If I hear any movement or feel any movement, that means you have too much lash. I want to be on base circle, 0 lash. So I'm going to turn this until I get 0 lash, and then I'm gonna go half a turn. Does that make sense? Okay, so let me run through this real quick, and I don't know, I guess we'll do another time lapse. Well, we got all the valves adjusted, so that means we have a complete long block. So I think I'm going to clean up there. I'm running out of daylight, and it's almost time for dinner. So let's call it there. I got a few things on order, a new carburetor and some headers and stuff. We should be able to assemble this entire thing, and I want to run it on the test stand. So tune in again. I guess this will be a to be continued video. We'll put the intake on and paint it, put a carburetor on it, headers on it, distributor. Then we'll take it, put it on the test stand, fire it off, set the timing, set the carburetor, get it running right. and then it's gonna be ready for the little truck. So anyways, I appreciate you all for watching. Please hit like, hit comment, subscribe. All that stuff is really, really, really helpful. And till next time, see ya.